Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show. Obviously, in this one, we will be talking about that dreadful performance. Even though we scored 2 goals, you'd think it was half decent. If you didn't watch the game, and if you were neutral, great watch. Like I said in the match reaction, but yeah, obviously it is that Plymouth game we will be talking about. Are changes needed for the next game, or are we allergic to doing that? By the sounds of it, from many people. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what people in the comments say and everything like that. Before we get into the game itself, Dad, how have you been
Yeah,
since the game?
all good, mate. All good.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, let's get into it. So obviously we took on Plymouth, as we know. Now going into it, I did say, me personally, I thought it'd be a draw. Just given the fact they're similar to, we're both similar going into it in the sense of 2 wins each in all competitions. They are in a false position. They are a team that went down with us, so I did expect a close game. I know there were a few people, rightly so, given our last couple of results, thought we'd get an emphatic win, but obviously it wasn't to be, given their start as well. But I was slightly different. But the lineup, I mean, there was no complaints really. It was exactly what we said, bar obviously Ali for Bramall. But I did also say on the preview, I wouldn't mind seeing that, um, and then take him off. But yeah, for us, it would have made more sense, like we said, defensive minded in this type of game against better opposition. Like I've said, you can afford to do that against Wickham, Peterborough, them teams. But the teams that are going to be up there, you can't be putting him as a wing back for me, at least starting anyway. And then obviously the bench, we had Bramall, Gabode, good to see him on the bench, Morris, Naismith again, Shea, Walsh, and Wells. So, yeah, looking at the lineup, you couldn't complain, could you? Dad? Like we say, it's literally what we said, bar obviously Alien.
No, I mean, Nordas and Nelson have kind of played themselves into the team. So, and Anderson back, that was good to see. With McGuinness going. With Lamine weren't in around, but you can only name certain players on the bench. So, but I think we need to play him a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is what it is, isn't it? Pretty much expected. Not too surprising that Ali got started. We're at home, do you know what I mean? And they're asking him to do a job when needed, and whoever's behind him's like could be covering for him and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much expected, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And going on the Lamine subject quickly, not just saying it because I've got the shirt behind me, which I won, but I agree. I think he should be starting more, or at least being involved. And again, obviously, there's certain games that will suit certain players. But I definitely, me personally, I'll say it already. I think he should be in if he's all available, which, as far as I'm aware, he is able to be selected for us. He's not injured or anything. He should at least be featured in that lineup against Lincoln for me. Especially if how the midfield was in this game, it wasn't great. But obviously, we get into performances and things like that. But yeah, the first half, I mean, we started off well. I thought the opening, 5 minutes, we were good. We were sort of on the front foot. But that same sort of thing that's bit us in the arse, I guess, in the last 2 years, come back again in the sense of, well, yes, it's still early on, but you don't take your chances. You get punished, and obviously they did score. Longwick, I mean, the start of the game, I thought he was all over the place. I'll be honest, probably his worst game I've seen him. Because I'm not going to judge the games where, even though he's not done too bad there when he's played as a wing back, bar one of the games, I can't remember who it was. But as a centre back, that was definitely his worst game so far for me. It was just, there was a moment he fell early on and he got done, and I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a long afternoon for him if we, persist with him on. Then the goal itself, few people saying he should have done better. I don't want to be too critical of Kadoa because that's not where he should be naturally. Let's just be real. Yes, he's done well there, but it's not. He's a striker. Do you know what I mean? So yes, he could have done the basics in being goal side, as people are saying, but for me, we got to stop the cross even before that. It's just the same flipping crap all over and over again. We go 1-0 down, and yeah, it's a very frustrating goal to concede, isn't it? Does
It is a little bit, but we're called out though. And I'm not saying that they weren't aware that he's a good player, but he is a good player. Do you know what I mean? Their number 9, Toulouse, or whatever the fuck his name is, right? So, good touch. Should have prevented the cross. But it was a hoof up there. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things about that game. Let's just get into it. Let's drill it down for what it was, yeah? Starting off, yeah? And this is what we've been lacking, and this is where we are getting exposed. We're not physical enough. We're not demanding, we're not chasing after the ball. Like, there's a couple of players who are physical, and Saville, obviously. Nordas was quite physical, but the others ain't being as physical. Do you know what I mean? Like, Isaiah Jones is quite physical when he plays for us and things like that. Yeah, like defenders, that's it. We're losing them battles, and that's giving, that's taking away. We're kind of relying on our skill and our, better technical qualities and things like that, and we need to be balancing and that stuff out. And obviously with cleverly the prick, right? Obviously Watford, he knew exactly what his game plan was. I mean, he got sent off. Their captain got sent off. They conceded 2 penalties from being ultra aggressive in the box. Maybe could have had more, but I'm not really I don't think the Nelson one, definitely not. Ali, whatever. But once the refs give them 2 penalties, and Bloomfield saying, yeah, but it's a human nature. You can't, you know what I mean? He's thinking, I can't just keep giving penalties. Well, yeah, if it's a penalty, then it doesn't matter. But the first 2 were definitely penalties. And the defending, all 3 goals were woeful. But yeah, fundamentally, they came to wind us up. They came to be physical. They came to give that attitude. And Cleverly's, I can't stand him anyway. He's just one of them guys. He reminds me of the former Charlton manager from a couple of years ago. I can't remember what's his fucking name. But yeah, he's like that. So he obviously, what did he get the yellow for in the first place?
I think he was just mouthing off to the ref, to be fair.
Right. But the second time, the reason he got this, I don't know why it's a straight red, to be honest, but he apparently stepped onto the pitch during the play. You're not meant to do that. I don't know if that's a yellow, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just can't stand him anyway. But he told them to do that, and we didn't deal with that, and we should be dealing with that better. And that's been a bit of a theme with us. But everyone knows, everyone was saying, and you've seen all the people on Facebook and that, he's out of his depth. We don't we thought all the players are shit. This, that, now. Get rid of all the shit players. Get rid of the players that don't want to be offload. Done that to as much as we can do. Brought in 14 new players, whatever it is, right? That does take time as well, but they are quality players. We still got El Hamadi to come back. We still got Elijah to come back. We still got Brown to come back. We've got Mengi to, he's still at the club. Things like that, right? Plus the quality we've already got. So we've done that, and then then it's like League One's going to be tough. Look up to Sunderland. Well, we were finding it's tough because it's more physical, but when we're not winning the games, because what is the problem? You're expecting us to storm away? No one's setting that league alight. By the way, yes, Cardiff are up there, but no one is setting that league alight. Bradford are up there, only just got promoted. Doncaster are up there, only just got promoted. Running from last season, and it's not that league is nowhere at all settled down yet. And we've played poorly, not dealt with things in a lot of games, yet we've still got results, or we still dominate 20 odd shots, 16 corners, this, that, and the other. But we're rushing it. Do you know what I mean? Is it a mentality thing? We're not playing against Premier League teams. We don't need to be rushing stuff. We just need to play technical football, be a bit more patient with things like that. Have an extra second to think, and that's it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, but the first goal, that's what happens when you've got wing backs who are not. But everyone knows that we can't go forward at the back. because there isn't four at the moment to go at the back that's going to work. There just isn't. Maybe if Mendes gets fit enough, then you can put him and Hansen in the middle, Makoso possibly on the left, because I think maybe you could do that. Then Walters on the right. I mean, I don't know about Longry there. So, that's not going to happen at the moment. But, Bramall can go on the left as well. But we're not going to do that because we need these fast-paced wingers with obviously stuff in training. And anyway, defence ain't even the problem. It was in this game, but it hasn't been previously. It's the working as a team, the coercion, the little patterns, like players working well together. We're not seeing them link-ups that you used to see previously, like Doughty and Bell, or do you know what I mean? Clark and Doughty, or Walsh and Doughty at times, things like that. Elijah and Morris. We ain't seen that, but again, they're all new players. So yeah, the first goal, it's disappointing to concede that. But obviously, the equaliser was definitely a blatant penalty. I can't believe the guy was even complaining about it. When you're leading your elbow, it's a penalty all day long. So, and fair play to Nordas. So if this is what I'm saying, he was being much more physical and going up for these things and that. And I'm not sure why he come off, but it might, we're not privy to this. He might have had a knock. He might have been feeling it. He might have felt sick. You don't know. But if there was nothing wrong with him, I mean, who did we replace him with?
I think it's Wells, wasn't it?
Maybe for the experience, but I think for his physicality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the problem was, I felt as well with that sort of substitution, as much as Wells scored, it's a good penalty. He's on top of that, he's just come back from, I don't even know where he was. Do you know what I mean? International. It weren't like he was in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Like, Nordos for me should have been on longer, I'll be honest. And, yes, we could probably sit here and say he's not going to get, your 20 goals, but his link-up play is really good. And I felt, you were missing that when he come off. And, a lot of people were criticising Yates in the first half. I can't agree with that, guys. I'm sorry. It weren't really you guys in chat, but I just see it online. I can't agree with that. Because what is he supposed to do when the midfield's just not doing nothing? Do you know what I mean? He still scored a goal and people go, it's a penalty. It don't matter. He's scored the flipping goal. I'd rather he score a penalty than us try and run it into the box and not switch it up. I mean, shout out to G1 in chat. He said, we need to change it up. And it goes back to what you've said that not too long ago, in the sense of the shots from distance and things like that. I mean, when I think of shots from distance in the last couple of games that have actually been decent shots, I think of Savills. If our CDM is creating the best shots, that's a worry to me. And, I've criticised Keeley. I personally think for one game, and I've said it, I mean, people on YouTube seem to agree, but obviously not on TikTok, but they see a minute clip and think that's my whole opinion. But anyway, I've said, I'd put Shane goal on Saturday. Personally, just drop Keeley for one game. And then people going, what, but you drop this guy, so that means you drop Nelson? Yes, we need to change it up. We need to flip and win the game because we don't want to get to a stage where we're chasing teams for points and things like that. But yeah, it's like you say here, shots from distance. Glenn Ray was on the audio. That's quite interesting. I know he's playing in the Vanarama National League South now. But he said that we needed more variation. Me personally, I didn't rate him as much as you did, Dad, when he was at Luton. He was obviously
new league, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he was in that league, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he knows what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I have to agree. We need to mix it up. Like you say, Dad, we're too desperate. We're trying to run it into the goal essentially. It reminds me of when they have their bad spell, obviously they're much better, but Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to run it into the hole like they used to. It's just stupid. It's stupid. I don't like it. So yeah, I totally agree with you there as well, mate. To be honest. Also, you say yes, bring in Mengi when ready for Anderson and now Hamady to come. Still hopeful for Saturday, but it's not great. Team gel with all these new players. Yeah, and Bloomfield's got a lot of criticism. A lot of people from this game have come out and said, he needs to go. For me, I'm not on that train yet. If it continues, then yeah, I might have to be, because then we'll just be chasing teams. However,
chop and change managers like that. Do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. How many games have we played in League One so far?
I don't even know. We got 4 wins. That's all I've written flipping though.
7, 8.
I think it's 7. Yeah.
You know, it feels like in 10 games. That's fundamentally what he's had with his own team. Forget last season when actually he started picking up right and it looked like we might be safe from a league. This is 7 games with his own team. Do you know what I mean? Who are still gelling. So, you know, no, he's not going to be getting sad. If we're like lagging, obviously 2020 vision is for us to go. So it's obvious. I want to hear this. They just concentrate on us. Don't talk stupid. Do you know what I mean? The whole purpose of the stadium is for bigger football, better football. So, you know, that's not going to be compromised. But if he's not, you know, if we're not in and around the playoffs, like, you know, if we're like well adrift, you know, 12 points or something, so like by, I don't know, end of January, maybe even before that, February, then potentially, yeah. You know. But other than that, it's not. You have to, you know, look, we've done with Rob Edwards. I don't think they'll make the same mistake again, let it go on to, do you know what I mean? But we're not at that level we was at last season. A lot of fans just being impatient. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's frustrating with games like that, but as you can see, like, there isn't a flow. You know, if we'd have lost that game 3-2 and we'd been bombarded, hit the post, their keeper made 15 saves, then it'd be a different story. But it was, you know, certain errors and certain shit performances from a couple of players, and not that hungry, you know, getting in their faces, man. That's what we used to be all about when we're not. And other teams are coming to do it to us, especially at our own ground. Like Kenilworth Road, not anymore. It hasn't been for flipping a couple of years since
year we went up, I'd say, to the Prem.
Well, no, in the Premier League it was a bit. It was, but as soon as we got them injuries and stuff, and you know that it started dropping, then it wasn't, and it hasn't been since. And then last season, obviously away we was poor, but we've improved on that. Do you know what I mean? We seem to be better away. I don't know. I think some of it's like too much pressure at home as well at the moment. So, you know, it's all that. But yeah, definitely a penalty. And then what do we do? Right, you know, this is who used to do it a lot. I mean, Nelson, he's definitely got ability, 100%, and he will be a good player. But this is a game where, you know, he was over, you know, thinking he could dribble it out of the box. Like, just whack it away, mate. Yeah, you got to be doing the basics. You didn't, and you know, like their commentators were, oh, what a great that weren't. It was a piece of piss. You know what I mean?
It was literally on a plate for him, really.
Yeah. And that's naivety. That's what happens. But you've given him 2 games in a row now. You can't. You bring in the more experienced players. You know, and that's it. That's what you have to chop and change. You don't just stick, because then there's more pressure on him still, because he was, and that's when that penalty, decision. He threw himself. He did. Do you know what I mean?
The thing for me, and I might have said it on the reaction, I can't remember. It was a very, very long reaction, guys, because I just heat of the moment needed to get a lot out. But I think I might have said on there, if I haven't, I'll say it here. I feel he was trying too hard after he done that mistake.
Yeah, well, that's right. This is the stuff you do when you're young. Even like if you just want to improve things like that when you're young. But yeah, just give him a rest. Just put him on the bench. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got there to be able to been told to come on and make an impact, and he has been doing that of sorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be the regular starter. So you have to chop and change and try different things and that, and then. You know, like Walsh, you know, I hear what you're saying, like he doesn't drop players, but he does. You know, Walsh, a couple of dodgy performances, and sitting on the bench. Smith, you know, as well. Your job to come on and show that you should be getting picked for the next game, which I believe Naismith's probably done, because when he come on, it
was good.
It was it was organised, but especially from the back, but it was just that quick, and the corners and that, that I don't stop putting 2-man on the corners. I don't. It doesn't benefit us at all.
Yeah.
I mean, no other team. I don't see any other teams doing it. So do you know what I mean? So I don't know why we're persisting with that. Is that set piece coach or who is that? Because it doesn't. We don't benefit from it, in my opinion. Just get whoever, And Clark, he's all right at corners, but he hasn't. We need someone who. Another option. No, Saville does it from the other side, and that's fine. But from the Doughty side, should we say, the famous, the main stand side of that, we need someone else. Naivety, just clear it. Who's it used to do? Osho used to do that quite a bit, but he was a defender, And do you remember a couple of times, right? Or someone used to do that last season as well. Just get rid of it. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of players have done it.
You have to do that in this league because it was a good tackle from the guy. Don't get me wrong, but we shouldn't have been dillying around with it there on the stroke of half time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and then obviously second half got another reprieve. Did we get sending off first or did we get the penalty first? I think we got the penalty first, didn't we?
Yeah, it was.
Again, that was if you look at it properly, the guy, it was aiming towards, I don't know who the other attacker was, but it peeled off to the back post and their player was just manhandling him all the way through. Just prevented him from getting on the ball. There's no doubt about it. It was a penalty. And it looked like Yates was going to take it, but obviously it was for his first goal. Good penalty again. And then their player, for some bizarre, if one of our players done, that was like a Walsh tackle, what Walsh done that time. Do you know what I mean? Just steamrolled it into him. Stupidity. And then obviously got sent off. From then, I know it's difficult sometimes against 10 men. I get that. But we had plenty of time. And then just being caught. And then obviously, Keeley obviously loves coming off of his line and being, you can do that in the Prem. You can do that in the Prem. You can do that in Spurs fucking under 21s team. You can do that because it's a different league. People are passing it around. They're not, do you know what I mean? It's not being, someone's not going to have a shot from the halfway line. Do you know what I mean? Like, just let it go. I mean, so I'm sure if it's touched him, but whatever, you got close enough to the ball, when you could have left it, and then obviously cleverly done something, delayed it, made everyone think about it, and obviously panicking, and even the corner when it come in, he flapped at it. He reminded me of Kaminsky. Like everyone's going in on Clark, but he flapped at it. Clark had a second to react, and what did he do? Try to whack it away. And it hit their prick of a player in the back, and then he run around celebrating like, do you know what I mean? Like they've just got in the playoffs or something. I'm telling you, and he's already been sent off this season, I think, cleverly, and so with a couple of their players, mate. They ain't got the mentality. That game they were just like flat track bullies, but they will not get away, and they ain't getting promoted playing like that. Facts. Do you know what I mean? They're lucky they signed that striker because I think without him, and then Galloway with his little attitude and that shot up, mate, because you got dropped from us, you were never good for us. You ain't good enough for us now, mate. Do you know what I mean? They've got three or four good players. That's it. Mumba, Taloj, and a couple of others. But yeah, they ain't all that. They ain't going to do nothing with that manager. Definitely not. But yeah, we have got the quality to have been a lot calmer on the ball. 16 corners. They've 41 headers away. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people say it's because we didn't have anyone. We've got big players in the team, and it's a flick on. But change your tactics with the corners in. Do you know what I mean? Like play it across. Like when it went to Saville when he had that pot shot. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
To give them something different to think about. Having 2-man going, yeah, you take it, no, I'll take it, no, you take it. Just do the same fucking thing over and over again. Like, vary it up. And just basic stuff like that. You've got the technical ability. You don't need to be rushing at teams like that. You can just pass it around them. Get them make them chase you and not just sit there defending like heading easy, header easy. We know what they're going to do. We know what they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was frustrating. Yeah, and then obviously went corner. Yeah, Flappy flapped at it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but the thing is, he is a good goalkeeper. We've seen that. He hasn't had loads and loads to do, but he has done. You know, he's got that the craft of being. But you're not playing in the Premier League. You know, 88th minute, I was listening to it. We had a corner. I think it was still 3-2 down right now, obviously. And he was asking to come up. What are you doing, mate? I get it if it's a 94th, minute, 20 seconds to go. We need you. I get that. That's fine. He got told to get back in goal. Do you know what I mean? And then even after that goal, he come running out, didn't he? And headed, and they flapped at it again. He's got to be reeled in, and just do your basics, mate. Just do the goalkeeper. You don't need to be coming out and playing sweeper, because you're going to end up clattering someone. You nearly got sent off in a previous game.
But everyone seems to forget that.
Do you know what I mean? Just obviously you play. You've got that Premier League mentality, but you're not playing in the fucking Premier League. He won't be dropped, because it probably maybe is harsh. It's a shame we haven't got like a virtue game, and then you know what I mean. But Shea will be keeping him on his toes, obviously, and he probably needs to be telling him as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Yeah, so that just needs to be reeled in. Just do your job.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is like, again, it's not you guys in the comments, and some people have watched my TikTok, then come over to YouTube, so I appreciate that. But just some of the comments I was getting on there, it's his first mistake. How many flipping times, Dad, have we watched a game, like you said, and a mistake's been
made with the other ones? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I need to remember who that game is. And guys, please tell me in the chat if you know. It was a home game. He come out. There was a defender, but I think the defender would have had it. I can't remember if it's Naismith, because I can't remember who it was. But he jumped on him, and it was like, what are you doing, mate? And I think when we played Wigan, it might have been, he should have got a card. I mean, Kaminsky got a card for a similar thing against Portsmouth. Last year, in the sense of they're coming out like a madman. I agree with you, Dad. I've said it, and all these people, look at when we signed him. I was gassed. Do you know what I mean? But there's also an element of, you've got to look at it and you've got to feel, well,
that's another thing.
He's not at that level he thinks he is, because not even any championship teams were looking at him in the summer. All right, you compare that to Kelman, right, who went to, and people go, oh, it's different position. It doesn't matter. Same rule applies. Kelman, striker, right, was at Leyton Orient last year, done really well again. Another player done really well. He got moved to a championship club. I didn't see Keeley linked with no championship club. So to me, that tells me he's a top-end League One player at best at this moment in time.
Yeah, with a hell of a lot of high ceiling and potential. But the thing
is,
all we saw, and you got to play or whatever at Leyton Orient, but we didn't watch a lot of games with Leyton Orient, and the highlights you see him scoring, obviously in the FA Cup, whatever it was, and this and the other. But did he do the same thing when he was playing for them? Like, come rushing at him? Well, he must have been. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it worked there because their defenders were slow or whatever. But our defenders, they're better than that. You don't need to be doing that. But I'm sure he'll be in for the next game. But sometimes it's hard with goalkeepers, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because what if you drop him for one game? Go, yeah, right. Can't. It's not costing us that. It ain't cost us massively. If we was on like a road to the playoffs and it was 2-3 games in, do you know what I mean? And it was repeated mistakes, then yeah, but it won't happen at the moment. But that was just frustrating. And then just bombarding the box, and just nothing. Ali just going mental. Like, wait, that's again why he's probably not got above League One level as it stands. Do you know what I mean? Because of things like that. Obviously, he's got a lot of ability in that, but like rushing the shots like that, the whole team should be like, just calm down. And this is what you don't see. Just calm down. just lay it off, pass it. Do you know what I mean? Look for the pass rather than I'm going to shoot. I've got really good technical ability. Well, not when you're rushing around like that, you ain't. Yeah, that's just frustrating in the end, wasn't it? We definitely shouldn't have lost that. And it was just, it's just, that's twice. They beat us twice. I know that's the first time in 10 years at Kenilworth Road, but they've been getting the upper hand on us, recently. And that's, yeah. And I'll tell you another thing, and we'll find out in the next game. This is why we have to be, because there's two players in there who are deemed not good enough for us anymore. James Collins and Sonny Bradley, who have both been scoring, commanding. Did you see him when he was on loan at Wickham? He knows how to deal with that doing the base. Do you know what I mean? And Collins is 34, but still is up there. Do you know what I mean? They know that league, and that's what I mean. I don't know if we've got anyone who knows that league enough. Shea, maybe Clark. Bloomfield certainly should know it. And this is where people, you can raise questions on that. You should know it's more physical. You should be telling them you need to be more physical. Not talking about shirt tugging and blatant stuff. Just, you know what I mean? Just learn from fucking Savile. And apparently he was getting loads of crap at the end. What are you talking about, mate?
Yeah, I heard about that. Again, me personally, I weren't really going to touch on it just because I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Do you know what I mean? But however, if that is the case with him, you can't be slagging him off. For me, he's been the best player this season. And then there was someone earlier going, well, we weren't good first game of the season. Bruv, who was good first game of the season? And he was playing as a cam. He got told to play higher up.
When he's come in, we know what you're going to get with him. And that's what he delivers on the pitch.
And I said he'll be an unsung hero for us this year. Because, last year, I've said it numerous times, but that midfield we had towards the back end of the championship season, they're all attack heavy. And I'm going to stand by it. If he gets injured, we're fucked in midfield. We're getting opened up like a tin of beans. I don't care who we're playing.
We'd have to change the midfield. We have the system then. Possibly.
Yeah, because they're all attacking midfielders other than him. Yeah. Unless you put Lamine there. But how can people sit there and have confidence that we'll put Lamine there? We've never put Lamine there, where he actually is meant to be a CDM. Don't get me wrong, he's done all right as a cam, but do you know what I mean? So if he get Lamine doing a bit of both, maybe that could work. But I don't really agree with that. I mean, like I said, you talk about shots from distance. He's had our best shots from distance this year. I mean, he's unlucky not scored. Was it the Wimbledon game he had that shot and nearly went in? Well, no, I can't remember who it was. It was a home game anyway. It was like a half volley, I think. Obviously, had the shot the other day deflected. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas you look at players who are meant to be strikers and meant to be shooting, like Ali, and he was shocking the other day. I'm sorry, but he was shocking the other day. Scored a really good technical goal against Burton. And again, people go, it's Burton, but still, like, the technique, that was a great finish.
He had the time. This is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Thing I'm saying.
And this goes back to what I say. You cannot play him as a wing back for me against the better teams in this league. Yes, he was running at the players and doing all right in that element, but his shooting was awful. And again, people go, "Oh, what? So you're dropping based on that?" Yes, that's what we're fucking meant to do. You don't want to be points behind and then chasing the league. I don't understand why it's harsh in dropping players if they're not playing good. Yeah, they're getting paid all this money and they're not playing to a level which we know as fans they can. They can rightfully be dropped. I don't know why
Bramall to start.
The mentality coming in for the last 2 years.
We had Bramall to start, didn't we? But
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. I'm just like, again, it's not you guys. It's just I just see all the comments on it. It does annoy me a little bit. Like what? Okay, we'll persist with the same team against Lincoln away and see how that goes. Because I'll tell you what, it won't be great. We need to make changes. We need to make at least 2-3 changes. I don't think Keeley will get dropped, personally. I don't think he will, as much as I want him to, just for one game. I said the same thing. With Kabore. People took it out of context, but look how he's doing now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's in the championship, but what's he doing? Do you know what I mean? He's not really doing much. He's still at Man City on loan. The guy's been flung around more than flipping a ragdoll. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. This is a joke. Seriously. But yeah, big up to everyone inside. Keeley is still very young and learning. He's with the right club at level at the moment. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And I believe, like I said, he will be a top keeper, but he's still got a lot to learn for me. That's how I stand with it. Good to see Phil in the chat as well, and everyone else that was in the chat as well from earlier. So yeah, big up to everyone that's inside. But yeah, might as well just get into the player ratings now for this game. So we'll start off with Keeley, as he is obviously the goalkeeper for this game. I mean, even on I don't always agree with Flash Scores ratings, but even they give him a low rating, so couldn't have been that good. Weren't really any standout saves for me. Like I said, even if it didn't touch him, I can't really tell from the one angle I've seen. But he shouldn't be going for it anyway. Just let it go out, mate. It weren't like Paul Mullins shot when we played Wigan and he shot from the halfway line. It was dipping.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that was barely across the ground, the guy's shot. He did not need to go to it. Yeah. And then the corner, like you say, flapped at it. Clark just tried clearing it away. I was a little bit annoyed because we were panicking in that moment, but not just at him. But yeah, as for Keeley, I don't care. I'm giving him a 5.
Yeah, I already discussed it. I'm not, you know what I mean, spilling out the same shit I've just said. But yeah, 5.
Yeah, Paul's gone with a 6. Moving on to Makoso, not the best of games from him. If I'm going to be honest, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, I've seen better from him, but I think he's probably, he needs to be in a stable sort of team, and because he's generally good at straight taking the throw ins. Do you know what I mean? He reads the game really well, etc., etc. But yeah, he's a good player. But yes, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, it's definitely a good player there. I do believe, he is one of our better defenders at the club. But yeah, he weren't so great in this game. Anderson, again, a lot of criticism for him. I mean, a lot of people don't agree with my Keeley criticism, which is fine, but I don't agree when people criticise Anderson as much as they do. I don't think personally, I get it because he's just come back, but then there's that other side of me that thinks he weren't too bad, and people are thinking maybe he come off because he weren't great. But I think he was all right, to be fair. So I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he's one of our better players.
Yeah, same. And again, he knows this league, how it goes. And he's just come back from thingies. That's why he did get taken off in the end. Sacrificed for a more attacking players, obviously, but we're just desperate then. You know what I mean? Just trying to fall up front or whatever the hell it was. But yeah, 6.5. I don't fault for any of the goals. Do you know what I mean? He can't be. Yes, he's a central defender, but he can't be everywhere in the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Moving on to Longwick, like I said, probably arguably his worst game in centre back, worst game overall, I'd say, for us. Got a yellow card as well. He was struggling. In this game, so I'm gonna have to give him. I'm gonna give him 5.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. Yeah, stupid yellow card. Kick the ball onto the pitch. Just didn't need to do it. And then it was just reminding me a bit of like how Bell was. Do you know what I mean? A bit like that. We know he's good. I don't know. I just don't know if it's. I thought he wouldn't be too bad at that position, but I just feel like Naismith's got more composure and more, know-how and things like that. Maybe he could play in what is he? Left-footed or right? He's right-footed as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Difficult. It just didn't really work out. We've tried him in a couple of positions as well, haven't we? So better as a centre back, maybe. Could end up being better as a centre back pairing, maybe but yeah, 5.
Well, for me, it might have to go to the bench now because the only other place I think maybe could work with him right now is the right side, but that's nailed on for Makoso, I'd still say. So I don't really know where he gets in at this moment in time starting, personally. It's a bit of a shame because I think there's a good player there, and obviously he's on loan, so you want to utilise him as much as possible, but I just don't really see right now where I don't think he's good enough as a wing back. I don't. And I do want to ask this question, as much as me and you, I don't think we will go to a back four. We ain't got the players for it. who would you put as the right back? Because we know as centre backs and left back you put Bramall, centre backs you, I don't know. Everyone will have their different opinions. But who would you put on the right? Because for me, anyone you say other than Walters, but Walters ain't available, it's not naturally a right back.
I think maybe Walters, Makoso possibly.
Yeah, I just don't want to. Me personally, I just don't want to see a centre back at right back. So yeah, Walters is all I can think of, but that he's not even back. So yeah, let me know what you guys would say for that. But yeah, other comments. Anderson 7 says Paul. Longwick 5.5. From the audio commentary, Saville sounded like an 8. Can that be right?
No, you won't. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. He's more defensive, but then he was taking them sort of shots like a number 8 would. Well, obviously had that shot. So possibly, yeah. But yeah, we'll move on to him now. Best player for me, if I was to give a man a match, it would be him. And do you know what? Even though we lost, I don't like to do it. I will give him man of the match because obviously there was that apparent moment after where he's got into a little altercation with a fan. At the end of the day, he's been one of our better players, and he's a new player. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really be criticising the newer players for me, in terms of blaming them for this constant crap in the last 2 years. So yeah, I'm gonna actually give him man of the match. As for rating, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, 7. Like I said earlier, for me, him and Nordas would have been, more physical. Flash scores gave Kadura a 7. I can't really see
Not this game.
Do you know what I mean? But Saville, yeah, definitely. He's a workhorse. You know what I mean? And he gives that every game. And he's just come back from playing a game and a half or game. Who did they play? Was it Germany or something?
Yeah, they did. I watched it actually. He come on at the end. I'm surprised he didn't start any of their games.
So do you know what I mean? Like, no, I think he was. He's quite vital to our team. It's just everyone else needs to sort of do that a little bit more and not just rely on pace. That's the problem. Isn't it? Yeah, we got pace, and everyone's always like, well, there's no pace in the team. Now that's all there seems to fucking be is pace. Yeah. You need to mix it up, but yeah, 7 man a match.
Yeah, I agree. And just quickly on that, he's probably the only player right now I can sit there and be like, yeah, he's got the physicality side that he's showing in the game. You look at us when we were successful. We might not have played the greatest football, but we grind out them results. But not grind out them results in the sense of like recently we've got 1-0 wins and not played great. I mean, like, we've defended well. Do you know what I mean? We've got stuck in. I mean, think of that Blackpool away performance under Nathan Jones. A lot of that was under him. Whereas now it's just we're trying to be too attack heavy for me. I mean, even under Rob Edwards, you could say we're being a bit too attack heavy. Again, like I say, I'm not on that wavelength of Bloomfield out or anything like that. The only annoying thing I have personally sometimes is just subs that are made. But like that lineup, 9 out of 10 Luton fans would have been happy with that going into that game. So, yeah, I'm not really complaining about that lineup. But, yeah, we know anyway from his time at Wycombe, he did change it, when it at times, the lineup. So I expect it. I expect it against Lincoln. I don't expect, I expect Healy to be in goal, like I said, but I expect Nelson to not be playing and be on the bench. If Lamine's available, I'll be putting him in. If he's not, then I'd probably go Walsh. Instead of him. And I would put Naismith in as well, and I'll take Longwick out. Other than that, I don't know. I'll see nearer the time. And obviously, there will be the press conference reaction as well that I will react to it as well on top of that. And then I'll give you a better basis of what I will go for in the game against Lincoln when the press conference comes out. But yeah, moving on to Kadoa. Again, I've seen better games. I've been singing his praises in recent games. But yeah, this game, not great. I mean, he did earn us the penalty, after obviously, not being goal side. But yeah, overall in the game, I have to be honest, not great from him. So I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, I'll just give him a 6 as well.
There you go. Just like that. Moving on to the other side, Ali. I mean, he was good running at players, but the shooting was terrible, absolutely terrible. Like I said in the match reaction, I hope he's practicing shooting practice because we know he can shoot. You look at a goal against Burton, like I say, you look at the goals he got last year. But yeah, this game not great. And me personally, I'd actually put him on a bench for the game against Lincoln. Bring him on. So yeah. As for the game rating, 5.5 because I know he can do better.
They'll give him a 6. If you got a yellow card for simulation, I'm not too sure about that. But yeah.
That's
been running forward and dribbling in that, but a few of the times he's making the wrong decision or he was not making the pass early enough. And it's just in game. You know what I mean? In training and that, they're probably banging them goals in and this, that, and the other. But in the pitch, he was just rushing it. We should be beating these. Bang. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just frustrating. So 6.
Yeah. Paul's going to be the same as you, 6 as well. Moving on to who should we go to? We'll start off with Clark. When we talk about him or Nelson, we'll start off with Clark. Not the best of games. I mean, someone was saying on the match reaction, can't remember who it was, but shout out to yourself anyway for commenting. He created the most chances. I don't care about that. I care about goals, that we're scoring. And I love Clark, but I thought this game he was awful. I'm not going to lie. The goal, like I said, I was frustrated with him, but I weren't as frustrated with him as I was with others on that third goal. But yeah, it's just that rush clearances. Like, I know he's better than that. Do you know what I mean? And it was a little bit annoying. So I'm going to give him a 5.5.
Oh, that's difficult. I mean, I'll give him a 6. But the thing is, he was captain for this game, yeah.
And captain don't work for me.
And yeah, we know he's not like a physical player, really. He's put a couple of tackles in here and there, but that's not his game. So you can kind of exclude him out of that. But he's there to calm the ball down, play that soft pass. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, as the captain, he should be able to tell everyone out. For me, I've been making Saville the captain, mate. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. He's in and out. Clark is, he's one of our old, kind of veteran players now, and that he's definitely good enough for this level. But captain material. Said the same about Morris, mate. I don't think they are. But it'll probably be Naismith anyway next game. But yeah, 6.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the thing with Saville as well is he's obviously, an international on top of that. So, there's that sense where you could maybe want to give him the captaincy when Naismith isn't there. I mean, I'd be open to that. Let me know in the chat if you agree. I mean, I think he has been our best player this season. On top of that, and like I said, going into the season, I think he could be like an unsung hero in that midfield. So yeah, let me know. Let me know. Would you guys do that when Naismith's not playing? Oh yeah, that's how I'd be open to that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, G1 agrees. Yeah, it doesn't really work. I mean, I think of like even the last couple of years when he's been captain, it's not really worked. Yeah, I don't really, me personally, I don't really see him shouting at players either. Really, like I see him like clapping a few times, going like, "Come on!" Like, but I don't see it as much as like a Naismith, even Saville. And Saville's just joined. Especially when you compare it to Clark. So yeah, there is that. I do have to agree with that. Moving on to Nelson in this game, not great. That's I don't think there's harm in dropping him for the next game because he wasn't great. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm saying, right, throw him out the team, don't want to see him again. Like, there's a good player there, but I just think for the next game, the way it's going to be a 12:30 game against a physical Lincoln side with players that we know we had at the football club long enough to know that can frustrate us, can rattle us, I think he's got to be on the bench. I don't think there's any harm in doing that and going with a bit more experience. So, yeah, for this game, obviously the goal, the second goal weren't great. I do feel we was trying too hard after, like I mentioned earlier. For me, he dived for the penalty. But there is a good player there. But I just think there's certain games that will suit him and the next game won't. So, yeah, for me, I'll go with I'll go 5.5.
Yeah, I'll give 5.5. But that naivety, because I think just before they started off well, he can get past players. Obviously high ceiling, similar to Keely in that respect. He's definitely going to be a good player. He's a good player already, but going to get better. But he's not consistently starting like that, and and then he didn't die for the penalty. I'd say that he was looking for it. Do you know what I mean? Like one of them ones, and trying too hard, but just give him a rest. He's obviously big part of the squad this year.
And Bloomfield wants
two bits, but little things like that have got to be looked at, and you've got to give other players who have been sitting on the bench or not even on the bench, like Lamine, a chance to shine, prove himself again. Walsh on his day can run the midfield, especially in this division. He can run the midfield 100% on his day. He can. So maybe a chance for him to come back in. We'll see. But 5.5.
I mean, I'm just thinking of it now because obviously we will play teams that will, especially the home games, that will set out a low block. I think Walsh could be beneficial for them games because he's good at picking out that pass and things like that. Yeah. I mean, like I've said, if Lamine cannot play against Lincoln, then I would play Walsh. Yeah, more experience and things like that. But shout out to Geordie in the chat. Big up to yourself, mate. Long time no see. What's happened, mate? Oh, mate, it's just it's just individual rubbish, mate. Really, if I'm going to be totally honest. But good to see you in the chat, mate. Hope you're well. Things like that. Moving on we'll go over to Nordos. Shouldn't have come off. We both obviously said that. And the thing is as well, I know obviously, Dad, you said about, he might have been ill, or injured or something. Nothing, like usually they'll ask the question.
But they don't. That's the problem.
No, but even on 3 counties, and they're more sort of, not ruthless, but they'll, they'll ask. They'll be straight.
They're not governed by the club.
Yeah. And I didn't hear anything on that or see anything because I can't listen to it for some reason, but I didn't hear anything from anyone that watched them on it. So I think he's all right. I just think it was a tactical one that, I mean, there's elements that it did work because, yes, well scored, but I just think the link-up play was gone when he come off. So, yeah, I mean, I thought he was one of the better players, so I'll go 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. Physical, won the penalty, battling, fouled them a couple of times, but so what? Do you know what I mean? Like, he wanted someone up there. He didn't get a yellow card. He won't want to book in. Maybe he was feeling something as well. We don't know. Do you know what I mean? But I can understand Yates and Wells with their experience get that, but not like so early on. I don't know. I just felt like he was looking half decent in the first half, to be honest with you. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, Paul's gone with the same as well for that. And then the last player out of the starting 11, Yates. Like I say, he was getting a lot. I see on social media getting a lot of criticism at half time. Me personally, I couldn't agree with that because the midfield was, other than Saville, was rubbish. They got to get the service at the end of the day, and he still scored. You know what I mean? So I really agree with it. I mean, he did have a chance towards the end where he slid in, like tried to get onto it. I thought that was unlucky personally. I thought he was all right. You can see that him getting the goals give him confidence. It's a similar situation with Nordas in that sense. So yeah, for me, I don't think he was that bad. I give him a 6.5.
Yeah, agree. What people don't get about Yates, so he's terrible. He's known for poaching goals. Most of his goals come from inside the penalty area box. Do you know what I mean? Inside that, and if you give him the service, he'll score. If you don't give him the service or play it up over his head and that, it ain't gonna happen, is it? So, took the penalties to get us back into the game. Feel like other players, like Elijah last season would have missed. Morris probably would have scored, but do you know what I mean? 6.5.
Yeah, and see, guys, if you wonder why I always say about the neutrals on the match reactions, there you go. Geordie watched it. He said he watched a bit of it. And I did say on it, I mean, if you're neutral, I said it on the match reaction as well. If you're neutral watching it, it'd been a good game to watch. But yeah, for us Luton fans, it was not great. But yeah, moving on to the substitutions in this game. Wells, like I say, there was elements where it did work, but I just feel Nordos should have been on longer. But Wells was all right. I mean, he got quite a high rating on Flashscore, 7.4. Well, I won't go that high. I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. Obviously, took the penalty. Could say there's a bit of pressure with that. But again, done the same job as in getting equaliser as Yates did. Was quite effective, but not physically. Again, he's more physical than Yates and can win headers as well, like things like that. But just the way we was playing didn't, right? So I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah. Paul has gone with a 6 as well. Moving on to Naismith, I thought he was really good. Like I said, I think he should start against Lincoln. We can both agree on that. And yeah, I thought his leadership was there, and things like that. Can't really blame him for anything. So yeah, I'll give him. You know what? I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought, he looked better, a little more commanding, more composed than Longwick did. And yeah, we let that corner in, but you can't really be blaming him for that. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. And then another player that come on that I thought was actually really good was Shaden Morris. He's running forward, trying to make things happen. Few crosses in the box from memory from him, which weren't too bad. It was just no one was in the right positions. And yeah, he's knocking on that door. To be fair, as much as he's just come in, he is knocking on that door to maybe get a potential start quite soon. But yeah, for him, I'll go with another 7.
I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was decent, but I think at times other players weren't working with him that well. He was trying to run past 2 players at times and weren't really giving him options and things like that. I think maybe he might be given a chance at right wing back, because of his pace. But I don't know how good he is defensively. I know someone said that he played that position, was it in a game in Scotland, and
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But he certainly got that something. Definitely the pace, and he can get round players. But he was crowded out. They say right. They defended for their lives. Do you know what I mean? They did. But even though we were making it easy for them, they still had to get on the end of them things and play it at the right time and stuff like that. But yeah, these sort of players are potentially getting themselves back into the team, the ones that come on. But yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Bramall, I'll give him a 6. He apparently, when the fans were going mad, he was the only player or whatever who went up to him and was like, look,
Yeah, fair play to him. I heard that.
He was spitting fucking, pissed up fucking people and that. Do you know what I mean? But for me, he's speaking out. I think he's got the experience, definitely. And yeah, I'll be looking to play him. Because we've got all these attackers anyway. Like we don't, the team's not built around Milenik Ali, is it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's someone to bring on, like if you need that more attacking threat, like and things like that. So, but Bramall's pretty scored that great free kick. He's got an assist, I think, on his debut, was it? He got him and
against Bradford, actually. Yeah.
Him and Kadua, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll be looking to start him. I can see why Anderson come off. Obviously, he's been injured. You don't want to. If he gone out or whatever, he was probably at. Who we got? Do you know what I mean? So it makes sense. I thought we'd done really well. But yeah, 6.5. And then Gabode, it's good to see him come on. Didn't really have a lot to do.
Some people wanted to see him come on a bit earlier.
Possibly. Maybe, considering he come on for Nelson, probably. But yeah, we could see about him. Do you know what I mean? But I think that he'll be hungry and he'll be one of these guys who are not. You always get a guy that's not sort of affected by the stuff that's going on in the teams. You know what I mean? And they just sort of start just
Excel.
having a bit of freedom and that. Yeah. So yeah, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah. I'll just give you a 6 because it weren't a long time for him. And Bramall, 6.5 as well. 6.5 for Bramall, says Paul. Also a 6.5 for Morris. He agrees with you there as well. But yeah, overall in the game, it's always mad, isn't it? When you score 2 goals and like everyone's as annoyed as they are about the performance, but it's just the individual mistakes. Really, like there was moments where I thought we weren't too bad, but it's just them mistakes which cost us in the end, and it's annoying because as much as Plymouth throughout the whole season so far have not started great, they are a team that you'd expect to, at least be up the top half by the end of the season. And obviously it played them and Cardiff, not quite got the results. And that's the thing which, is a bit annoying for me. I'm not bothered about the lower half teams, I'll be honest. Like we can, our attack and our squad depth will be too much for most of them teams, I'd expect. I mean, you sort of saw that against Burton. But it's just more so them teams at the top is where I worry with for points, really. And the next load of games we've got are very difficult games. A lot of them, I'd argue. Obviously we've got Lincoln away, 12:30. They're going to be right up for it. We've got Doncaster. Yes, I know they lost 3-0, but other than that, have done really well throughout the season. And then I can't remember who we got, but then we got Stevenage after that. I hate to say it, but they're doing well. We're doing well. They're doing well. So that's going to be a difficult game for them. Not we're doing well. See, this is what this team's doing to me. I want to say we're like them and doing well, but I think I'll be honest. I think some people are overreactionary in the sense of, we're not going down. We got 4 wins and we ain't played great. We have not played great in any of the league games bar Burton for me. And we've got 4 wins. So to me, that tells me the division's not great. In the sense of the lower end teams anyway. It's not like the Championship where anyone can sort of beat anyone. Do you know what I mean? There's certain teams like you just look at and you're like, well, they're not going to do much with all due respect to them. But yeah, it's just them more top end teams I worry about getting the points to get, especially at home. Like you say, Dad, Kenilworth Road, and I think I said it the other day, it's not that fortress anymore. It's not. And that is disappointing because you see a lot of modern stadiums nowadays. People moan about the atmosphere in certain grounds. They're far. Like look at West Ham, for example. Their ground's far away from the fans. Do you know what I mean? And ours is close up, and it's just not working. It's frustrating. Frustrating. But like I say, I'm not Bloomfield out at all. I'm not at that stage yet. But I guess if we keep losing, then I guess you might have to at some point. But I think it's too early to be saying that personally. I think if you got to put the blame on, I said it the other day. If you got to put the blame on anyone, it's the higher ups. It's the higher ups because we haven't got the players we needed in. For me, I've always said it. We needed a left back / left wing back. We didn't address that, and that's a worry for me. Because even if we, some people don't want him, some people do. I mean, I want a left back. I don't care who it is, another one. But say, for example, we did go out there and get like someone in the free agent market, whether that's Jamal Lewis or whoever, they're going to have to get into the swing of things. So then there's that to come in. They're not just going to come straight in. So I think that could be a letdown. I think I said it on here. In fact, I did say it on one of these shows. The one we did before the transfer window ended, I said I think that could be the costly come the end of the season of not going up personally. But we'll see. We'll see. And that goes back to my point, mate. That goes back to my point in the sense of, well, we got to be getting the results against them, and we're not. That's the problem. We're not doing that so far. And again, like I say, a lot of them. I mean, I think Lincoln could be in the shout for playoffs this year. The way they're playing so far, got the experience. Stevenage, I don't really know if they'll continue it, but right now they're up there, so you have to look at that like that. I know in October we got Huddersfield at home. I mean, over the years, they've been close games. Obviously, as we know, the playoffs is the standout example. But even the league games, I remember we played them, I think it was a midweek game, 3-3. That was a great game as a neutral again. But we just, we don't... especially against that, we just don't really seem to beat them. I know we did when we last went there, 2-1, but I'm on about at home. Do you know what I mean? Like they're the games we need to be making a fortress. And I mean, even the home games, you look at the year we went up. I know I was saying earlier, but I thought of it. We were actually better away that year as well. So I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know. It's not been what it really used to be. The odd couple of games over the years, you know, the Watford 3-0, the Sunderland playoffs, you know, a couple of Prem games. But overall, it's not been what we've known it as, especially from last year to now, really. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you want to say about anything else?
Nah, just relax, enjoy your week, and then go again on Saturday.
Yep, we do go again on Saturday. A player that I forgot to keep an eye on actually this weekend was Archer, who obviously we have got, but he's obviously at is the club we got him from. I need to have a look on him, how they done at the weekend. But I've heard one of the games recently done all right, so I need to have a look because obviously we're getting him in January. At this rate, you know, I'm sort of hoping that he can come in and do something because apparently he's been playing as a wing back for them and he's been doing really well. So
But
who knows?
it's League Two, I think. So.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I know. That's that. I think that's why I've done it till Jan though, to see how he is, and then if he keeps doing it, yeah, how much in League Two. If he keeps doing it, then I guess you got to give him a chance. Come January, if we're still having the same problems, you know, you got to give it to him. But yeah, that's how I see it. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, follow me across on my socials, subscribe to the extra channel. And yeah, as for content, I will do a press conference reaction when that drops, probably on Wednesday, because we've been doing them quite early this year. So yeah, probably be on Wednesday. Get more of a basis of what I'll go into in the sense of the lineup going into that Lincoln game. And then yeah, obviously there'll be a match reaction to the Lincoln game as well. And yeah, oh yeah, Doncaster after that. Yeah, I'm glad we're not playing in these midweek games at the moment. I'll be honest, especially if there's a massive divide. You know, probably especially since I've been a Luton fan, this is the biggest divide I've seen with people's opinions and things like that. So yeah, hopefully it gets better soon, but we'll see. But yeah, big up to G1. He says thanks all on to Lincoln. Absolutely, mate. But yeah, big up to yourself. Big up to everyone else. Like I say, smash a like, subscribe, follow me across on my socials, subscribe to the extra channel. And yeah, till next time, take care.
Peace.